Hey guys, it's Laura from the Yarn Closet in Mescal, Arizona. Here, let me do that so you don't have to look at my icky ceiling that I have yet to fix. A little bit of flute music in the background and a lot of birds. We are having a gray day. We had some rain the last few days. That's quite nice in southern Arizona. I'm less than 2 hours to the Mexican border. What do we got going on there? Oh, we got a bit of a blister from some shoes. I don't know, and it just keeps aggravating it because I keep wearing the shoes. I didn't even put any lipstick on today. It's been a doozy of a day. A doozy. So let's introduce. I'm Laura. I'm legally blind. I live on a little hobby farm in southern Arizona, but we live at a high elevation, so we do get a lot of like weird weather, snow. Right now it's in the 70s. We're at my daughter's school, 15 minutes away. It's like 85. When we have snow, by the time we get to school, there's no snow. And I mean 5 inches of snow the last time. We have had beef cattle that we've harvested. We've had turkeys that we've harvested. We've had goats that we recently took to the goat shelter because goats are really social. And this is something that I've talked to a couple of my neighbors about who have a lot of them. And our 2 little ones, even though they were interacting when our pigs had babies and the babies were running around, they were so much happier. The kids don't interact with them that much because they're full grown now and they have horns. So we decided to take them to the forever shelter. It's this huge farm with like 300 goats and other animals, but it is goat specific. And it's near us, and she was quite happy. She's like, oh, these are the best looking goats I've ever taken in. And you feel guilty when you do that, when you realize over a period of time, and we've had them for, over a year, that this is not the right fit. And some people guilt you out about it a lot. And here's the deal. If it's not the right fit and you can find the right fit, then that's the best choice. Because if you really do care about their well-being and their welfare, then that's what you're going to focus on. Not your feelings in the deal. And so right now we still have a few pigs we are slaughtering in next month. And I don't believe we will be doing that again because it's very hard right now, even though we're offering at a really low rate to try to help people out with meat prices. It's just hard to find buyers. My husband, this is on like a 35-acre original homestead of my husband's grandpa, who had lots of animals and did lots of things for the community. And my husband had a real idea that we'd be able to do this, and we can do it if people wanted it, but people don't seem to want it. People just don't. I don't know. Sometimes it's as if it has to be more, this sounds awful. It has to be more charity than you think charity is. Because my husband's like, if we raise these animals and we butcher them, we give them to people at, less than Walmart meat prices, we're just going to have people lining up, and it's going to be so helpful to the community. It'll be a fun thing to do in our retirement. And it just hasn't worked out that way. But we've had fun in the little over a year that we've done it. So now we're just coming to the end of this season. And we will still have our chickens and our cats. We've got 2 small dogs. And that's really fun. And that seems to be enough for our kids. And we do gardens. And there's still a lot to maintain on a property like this, even if you're not constantly breeding things. So it'll be fine. We'll see how the next 6 months to a year goes and where we're chatting at next year. I have a 15-year-old son who'll be getting his permit in August. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and a 28-year-old son, and a 24-year-old soon-to-be daughter-in-law. They're engaged, and they're looking at dates and times. They're in the process of getting a 1-bedroom set up right now. And so we're all very excited about that. And they live in Tucson. They come out a few times a year as work permits for them. I am a Reiki practitioner. I do Reiki online. I have the Yarn Closet over on Patreon, and the gift that I give to my people who've supported me and who follow me for free over there, because you can. I follow a lot of people for free on Patreon. It's quite fun. The last month has been tough. We've had a lot of rotating illnesses and just stuff that's come up. So that's been tough. But I do Reiki over there, and I try to do it on a weekly basis. Free new pop for everybody. I love my knitting podcast, but it's been so hard because of our poor internet here to get anything going on a regular basis. I'm going to do this today and see how that goes. I just don't think that people are going to go over to Patreon to watch this. And it can take me 12 hours or more to do the same kind of upload on YouTube, and it's just not worth it. Because I don't have I don't have my own individual computer for this purpose to do that and to do that efficiently. And so it really annoys the rest of the community I live with when I eat up that time on a machine. I have the sweater I started on my knitting retreat. And I think I'm going to end up crocheting around this neckline, not putting in a knitted neckline, because I think it's going to be a little bit too big. But it's designed to be a very light t-shirt style. I have gained a lot of weight around my middle in the last 9 months. I had a hysterectomy at 45. They put me on a couple of antidepressants. Now that everything seems to be done, they took me off of them, not all at once, in the doctor-regulated, lovely way. But I'd never been told ahead of time that one of them was actually keeping my weight down. I had no idea. That's not your first thought. So now I'm struggling with that. And I'm struggling with the motivation to do the exercise and the activity. My husband's not as active. He can do the things, the basic things that need to be done to keep up. Feed the animals we have. I can feed the animals we have, but that's what he likes to do. So that's what he does. But he doesn't have a lot left for all the other things of life that we do. So we just don't do as many anymore. And, that's okay. There are seasons in life for everybody, and that's okay. And it's hard when you're being supportive of a person whose season you're not in yet. But I think that's a really good learning lesson. So here is a sweater that I started. It's a crocheted sweater with knitted accents. I've not been real successful at neck shaping. And I realize maybe that's something I need to embrace. Like next winter, going into 2024, I think maybe that will be my year of embracing the neck shaping. Because always what I try to end up doing is split hems, and I'll do like one side longer than the other side. And depending on the fit of it, that doesn't always work. Oh well. I don't end up loving it as much as I think I'm gonna love it. And I spend too much time making all this stuff to never wear any of them and to always be giving them away and hoping that other people wear them, but then you never see the pictures. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much. But nobody ever uses it, and you wonder, what was the point of my time or my money? Does anybody else go through that? Because I do. I mean, it drives me batty, especially for my community I live with, my family. You know, oh, make me this mittens, make me this scarf, make me this thing. And you do, and then they never use it. I love that. I want that. So you give them something that you would have reworked to use, and it hangs in their closet, and they never use it. I know that that makes them feel good when they see it, because they think, oh, Mom made that for me. So I have to let go of that, but it's still frustrating and hard. I have an air conditioner for this room. I don't know if it'll ever get in here. I think if I had it in here and I could be in here more, maybe I would do the exercising a little bit more. But I think that exercising is more of a hurdle of nobody can bug Mom for the next 2 hours because she's taking time for herself. And since I did go to Phoenix that long weekend, I have proven that they can survive without me. So I don't know. I don't know. Why am I holding myself back from that happiness? Why? Because I know I would have some happiness if I committed that time to myself every day. And I'd feel like I'm getting somewhere in life. Because I still feel like I have a whole big life ahead of me, and I'm working in that. As like this morning with my daughter and having cramps, you know, she's 8, and the doctor tells me that's totally normal nowadays. The doctor says, I expect her to have her period before she is 10 years old. And I said, wait a minute, if she has her period in the next 2 years, first of all, emotionally, how do you get a child that age to really understand that? And secondly, won't her body start to change and adultify? Yes, the doctor says, yes, that will happen. And I'm like, at somewhere between 8 and 10 years old? So you mean by the time she's 12, she's going to look like she's a 16-year-old? Because my daughter's also, they expect her to be somewhere between 6 foot and 6'2". And they're like, yes, we expect that. Okay, good, great. And then the neighbor is like, you know, still a functional woman. So she's like, yeah, whenever I get my period, all of a sudden I'm noticing changes in my 7-year-old. And I'm like, you are kidding me. I'm glad I wasn't doing that. So maybe that will slow things down a little bit for her. Because I just think that's a burden on these kids. And if we can figure out what's causing this, I think we should, and we should stop it. Because that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like a natural evolution of the world to have 8-year-olds having their periods. No. You wonder why kids can't have a childhood in this country? Okay, sorry. So, really, I have been doing some other knitting, but it's been machine knitting and it's been blankets. I've made a few. So my aunt who lives by us is like, you know, it's so nice you do that for birthdays. And then, so I did a bunch of them recently for like the teenagers. She's like, well, why are you not waiting for their birthdays? I'm like, we've lived here over a year and a half. The only birthdays we've gone to are the 2 birthdays of the mom. We don't get invited to the kids' birthdays, so I'm just making them all. Oh, yeah, that's why. That's why. So about 9, 10 months ago, I really felt like I was jumping into another birthing process. So I really wonder what's going to happen this summer. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. Now, my daughter's last day of school is tomorrow, and she goes back July 20th. I can't get over that about her school. I can't get over it. Oh well, it is what it is. Look with your heart first, not your eyes. We are in some crazy times in the world. If you watch anything astrologically, there are some crazy things going on. And the weather stuff that's going on is just nuts. Just nuts. So I hope you are all embarking on the beginnings of your summers, and I would love to hear what they involve.